morning. Welcome to Sports Talk for Saturday morning, just a couple of days before Christmas here at the 3rd Street Bakery. And we've got a great show. We have probably the best shopper in the world on this morning. That's kind of an addition to what we do. We're going to be talking with a couple of coaches who have their home around here. We're going to be talking to Bruce Erickson, Joe Jackson. Dave Kelch is with me this morning. Coach, talk a little bit about that. Dave, thanks for coming on.
Oh, thanks for asking me.
Coach for how many, 90 years or something?
Well, almost 51.
51 years, Coach. We also have a lot of athletes from there. We have Justin Juderman. We have Caitlin Swanson. We asked Sean Noodle, but he's busy right now out in Arizona. Jaron Kellerman. Kristen Grieving is going to be on. Death in the family. She has to be at the funeral of her great-grandmother. Brooke Baird, Courtney Cunningham, Michaela Gerard, Tatum Bartels, and Seth Durst coming in also with Trenton Soliday, but he has a rodeo today somewhere. So who scheduled a rodeo 2 days before Christmas? And we have Cody Miller with us this morning, president of the Rotary Club. And why he is here, he's sitting next to Brenda Chanley, who I was over there this morning, and I watched you, Brenda. $2,012 groceries in 5 minutes.
I know, that was
I got to
great
ask.
thing.
Out the place. I mean, did you spend some
Yes.
time looking where to go?
I went over on Thursday and did a run through and decided how I wanted to go, and then we went back Friday and timed ourselves, my daughter and I.
Wow.
And then this morning I went about 15 minutes early and walked through it again.
Okay, and it looks like you did very well. I mean, you started out getting some jerky.
Yeah, my boys love jerky.
Okay, you got some jerky, but then you went back to the meats, and I'll have Cody explain some of the rules in a minute. But you filled the cart with meat. I
Yeah,
mean,
it was
huge
heavy.
loins. Here's her ticket, and something really stands out. Prime rib, $177, and a couple of those.
Yes. I could get
let's
2
see.
of each thing.
Okay, yeah. Cody, Rotary did this because it was a fundraiser. I hope you sold enough tickets to pay for this.
We're still taking donations, Tad. So no, we did fine. It's our 4th annual grocery grab, and yeah, Brenda set a new record very easily on this. So.
Okay, so what are some of the rules?
So the rules, they have 5 minutes to grab as many groceries as they can in the grocery store. You're limited to 2 of each item, so it could be 2 prime rib, 2 pork chops, etc. Now, when we got to the meat department, thank goodness it was only a minute, or Brenda really would have put a hurt on us there. So, but you only had 1 minute in that regards there. But 5 minutes was the minute. Did it go by quick, Brenda?
Yes, it did.
Yeah.
Really quick.
That's what it seems. Everybody always says is you don't realize how quick 5 minutes is until you have to do that.
I knew that she had a plan because he was going down and got a lot of frozen chicken, frozen things, and then she made a beeline for the freezer where the turkeys were. She got huge turkeys, 2 of those. And how many carts did she end up using?
4 carts.
4 carts, okay.
Is there anything left on the shelf?
A few things. I left the staples and stuff. I didn't get any canned vegetables or anything like that. I went for the things I don't normally buy.
Well, and another thing that makes sense is you don't get the paper towels. That takes up room in the carts. You get the stuff that goes in there.
Well,
Really.
it was only groceries.
Yeah.
No
You
paper
can-
towels, no
okay.
detergent,
Okay.
only edibles.
Okay.
That's right. Yep.
Okay. And you did very well. You had in and out, and you had big sacks of sugar. And this is the first year that the woman has ever won. So you can tell the guys who have done it haven't done that well, but you can tell they just shop pretty well. I will never take you shopping with me. I'll guarantee you that.
I don't usually spend this much money.
Yeah.
Well, I spend more time in the grocery store than my wife does.
Do you?
Yeah.
Okay.
She sends me a list, and if I want to buy something on my own, I get it.
Yeah.
You know. So,
You know, but
but I know the store as well as she does.
I take a list. If I don't, I end up taking home a lot of stuff that it's eventually eaten, but I don't need, you know. So
Exactly.
yeah, but it's fun. So you did a great job there,
Thank you.
and thank White, of course. We have some pictures there. Why don't you
Yeah.
see if we can show those pictures on there of some of the things we can't see what we're going to try this here, see how it look. But there were 4 cards.
Tad, while she's pulling that
Sure.
up, if you don't mind, on behalf of the Phillipsburg Rotary, we want to thank everybody that did purchase a ticket. These goes to a great cause. We try to keep as much of that local as we can. The hospice, that's one of our biggest
It is, yeah, great,
organizations that we do. We have a local scholarship. There's several other activities that we participate in and help out with here locally. So thank you for everyone that did purchase a ticket. We appreciate that, and we plan on doing it again next
Okay,
year.
well, it was fun watching Brenda because she had a plan, and she knew just exactly where she was going, but when she made a beeline for the freezer, she knew the turkeys were in there,
Yeah.
and got 2 turkeys. So it's amazing.
And we did some math there, Tad. If she bought a $5 ticket, it was about a 400 and some % return on your investment.
Wow.
So it was a great investment for certain.
was.
So,
Yeah, I bought a ticket.
Did you?
Yeah, but I put my wife's name down.
Well, that's
I wanted her to make sure. If I'd have won, I'd have probably gotten the wrong things.
yeah. Well, and it was obvious
Not gonna work.
that Brenda. Okay, well, do you have to get back and open the shop?
Yes, I get. This
Okay,
is the
well,
last shopping day for Christmas.
We're all coming. We're all coming to your house for dinner.
for prime rib.
For prime rib, yeah, we're gonna be there for prime rib.
We got 2 of them, so.
we'll be over, Tad.
Okay, all right. I hope you have a place to put all that frozen meat
Yeah,
in.
I have a freezer at the store.
Oh,
and at
okay,
home, and-
okay, all right. Well, congratulations
Well,
on
thank
that,
you.
and Merry Christmas.
Merry Christmas
Merry
to you.
Christmas, Cody.
Thank you,
We'll
Ted.
see you.
Thank you.
Do what? Oh, I want Bruce is coming up next. We'll get Bruce in here. Reminder that the Sports Talk brought to you by the First National Bank and Trust, proudly supporting Panther Athletics. Right now, there's a sale, end of year sale coming on at Olive Bowie. So go in and let Jim and Terry save you a bunch of money at Olive Bowie Furniture and Appliance. Sunburst Realty LLC, where you find the best homes under the sun. Professional Family Eye Care. See Dr. Juneman for all of your eye care needs. Coombs Trucking, you call, we haul. Weinman Firestone, tire sales and service, backing the youth of Phillips County. And Biggs Insurance for all of your auto, home, business, and farm insurance needs, making it possible to do this. And we got the place packed this morning, and we have Bruce Erickson. Bruce, we go way back. Now, I don't want to put you on the age thing here, but well, you've been around for a while, as I have. You know.
Yeah, this is graduated from Phillipsburg High at 1974, and this is my 35th year of coaching. So, and doing the radio broadcast with you back when Stockton was in the state championships and football. So it helped me when I went to Oklahoma State to be on the radio, and learning from a Hall of Famer. It was
Well, no, now where'd you start?
I started in 1982 at Moreland High School.
Right.
And it's a great recruiting tool for me because I tell the kids that I started out of school with 32 kids in high school, 9 through 12, and most of those kids that I recruit out in California and stuff, they have 32 kids just in one class, so they couldn't understand that. But it was a great starting out there, and then to Ellis, and then Salina South, and then into the collegiate ranks.
Okay, and I remember you were in '74. You were sandwiched in between Greg and Mark, and you played American Legion baseball. I think you were the catcher.
I was a catcher.
And they said that you were. You played a lot of pranks and stuff. And
I think that's all just hearsay, but my wife even says the same thing. How she ever ended up with me as ornery as I was. And my parents talk about that a lot.
Sure.
So.
Now, where are you at now, Bruce?
I'm the head women's coach at the University of St. Mary in Leavenworth. This is starting my 5th year up there, and I started out at Oklahoma State after Salina South, and then I was the associate head coach at UMKC, a Division I in the Summit League in Kansas City, and was with a lady there that just didn't fit my philosophy, the way she treated kids, so I resigned, and now I'm at the University of St. Mary and love the NAI level. It's a great level for kids that come in that want to be students first and athletes second, and sometimes that's the best kids to be able to coach.
How are things going this year?
Well, I need a medical team and an ambulance about every practice.
Really?
I've lost 6 kids to season-ending injuries, and injuries that were just non-contact: 2 ACL knees, a back, a shoulder, or 2 shoulders, and a concussion. So we're pretty beat up, but we're still 7-6 and 4-4 in the conference, and lost a couple close ones. But we've already beat an NCAA Division II team, which doesn't happen very often. So we're getting there. We're usually a good second half team. Last year we won 13 in a row to end the season. So, the athletes will finally figure out that my coaching won't hold them down as the whole season. So they'll step up and take the challenge and get us some wins.
Sometimes athletes win in spite of us. Isn't that
Exactly.
right?
I always talk about I was a great AAU coach, and people ask me why, and I said that's because I had Kinder Wecker, Lori Kane, Dana Finch, my daughter, Nicole Oldie with that AAU team. I was a good coach back then. We won a lot of games, and I did a lot of hand clapping and go, 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 and that's all we did. So,
Where's Dana now?
she was up at the University of Nebraska for a long time, and I think she's retired and just being a mother now.
Oh, yeah.
She's
yeah.
back there in
that
Smith
was-
Center.
Yeah, in Smith Center, I think, yep.
Yeah. Are they?
Yeah.
Okay, I didn't realize that. And also, he still coaches Salina South, isn't he? Finch?
It's Salina Central.
Salina Central.
Yeah,
sorry.
that's,
okay.
boy, that's fighting words with him when you're a South
Really?
guy.
I
Oh,
know,
yeah, South
I-
Central.
Yeah, I know that. Salina Central. I kind of keep up on what,
Yeah,
what they're doing.
he's
on everything.
been in it about as long as I have.
Yeah.
So
Okay, now, what league are you in?
we're in the KCAC
Okay, that's
with
right. You're-
Tabor and Bethany
okay,
and
you're
those
in-
guys, and
okay.
it's a dog eat dog
It
league,
is.
man.
Kansas
There's
Wesleyan,
Kansas Wesleyan, and so there's no
Bethel?
easy games. Bethel's in there, Friends.
yeah.
York, Nebraska's in there now, and Oklahoma Wesleyan. And now we have next year we'll have Avila in Kansas City, so that'll be a good trip for us.
So, do you have very long trips? I mean, do you take very long
Now
trips?
3.5 hours about it, 4 hours at the most. Going down to Oklahoma Wesleyan and New York are the farthest.
Where do you try to recruit out? Or anywhere? You just,
I take kids from all over the country, and I know so many guys that a lot of coaches will just say, Coach, I got a kid, and I'll take them sight unseen. I've ended up with, my All-American, 2 of them I recruited out of California that were, I just did them off phone calls. They had never met me till the day they showed up to campus. So I go to California a lot. I love recruiting Western Kansas, but every time I went to Osborne last year to recruit a kid a couple years ago, and all of a sudden here comes Sterling and Bethany and Kansas Wesleyan, and so I'm fighting against all those. But I go to California in a gym, and they think I'm,
Bill
John,
Self?
yeah, Bill Self's in the gym, and so there's so many more kids on the West Coast and that want to get away from home, and that's so I do a lot of stuff out there. And my daughter lives in LA, so it's cheap for me to go out and recruit out there. But I love Western Kansas kids because they got a great work ethic. Kids know, they got to play in the band and do all the academics, and they come in and they're not headaches. And after 35 years, Dad, I don't want headaches. So.
Talk about your experience at Oklahoma State.
It was a great experience. I had the opportunity to go from Salina South, a high school program, right into a Sweet 16 Division I program with Kurt Butke, who was my best friend in basketball, and just to have the opportunity to see the elite athletes and the way they train and the perks that you get when you're in Nike school. I still got closets full of Nike stuff at Oklahoma State, but a great learning experience with Jim Littell, who's in the Hall of Fame now, and Kurt Butke's in there, and excuse me, and the people we got to coach against. It was a great experience. I loved it, and still have a lot of friends. I went down, and Coach Butke got killed in a plane crash, and I had left a year before that to go back up to UMKC, and I probably would have been on the plane. So it was, brings me to reality because I went all the recruiting trips with him. But the things I learned from those people and the friends I've made, it's a great experience, and I'd love to have other people have that opportunity to go into that level of basketball. It's phenomenal.
So how does the KCAC look now?
It's tough. It's tough. Everybody's recruiting. That's just full of a lot of good coaches that do a great job recruiting. Keith Ferguson of Bethany was out at Long Beach State, so he's now into the West Coast pipeline. So every team's got great athletes. Tabor and Friends made national tournament last year, and that's kind of what our goal is. But we're 4-4, and we feel like we're only 3 games out of first place, and I think we can really make a run. It's tough.
Who's at the top of the conference right now?
Tabor is.
Tabor is?
Yeah. He's built such a nice program that he really gets a good kid, especially from around western Kansas.
You try for the 4-year, you ever go to 2-year schools? You ever take junior college?
Oh, yeah,
transfers?
yeah. But I'm real particular on who I take. It's sometimes the junior college kids have different aspirations. They want to be higher, and I want to make sure that the kids I take are academic is top of their list, and the kids I've got have been really good kids, been leaders that has really helped me. So I'm real particular on junior college kids. But yeah, I'll take them. So.
Do you, when you try to recruit a junior college kid, are you looking for something specific?
If I can ever get a big kid, I go after them hard. But the problem is the NCAA programs, D1 and D2, stockpile those kids. You know, they'll tell them you'll play here. So it's hard for me to get anybody that's 6'1" or above. And so I've just got to adapt my offense and philosophy to what the kids we can get. And they're usually 5'11", 6 foot and below. And so we run a lot of continuity stuff. So it's hard to recruit big kids. If I can find a big kid, that's a plus.
I want to ask you something. Being a coach, a college coach, what is going on with Preston?
With nobody.
At KU. Is Preston?
Oh, Billy Preston.
Yeah, why?
Back in a week.
Is he going to get back?
Texas again, right?
I doubt. Is he?
When?
You know, what takes so long to determine who owns a vehicle?
Well, yeah, Preston. I think, and a lot of the guys that I've talked to, it's not so much that what it is, but if you've ever seen the NCAA manual, it's 7 inches thick, and they don't do anything quick. The NCAA is never in a hurry to do anything, and I think that's the problem. They're going to do so much investigation, especially with all this other stuff with coaches and the Adidas scandal. They're going to take their time and make sure they get everything figured out before they ever make a thing. But now KU's got the DeSosa kid back. He's going to start playing, and I think that'll cover up for Preston because he's pretty good. He's a big kid. So,
what I understand, it's in the hands of the NCAA now.
Yeah, that's it. And when you get anything into the NCAA, if you think it's going to be a quick decision, you might as well go on vacation, because they don't do anything quick, and they don't have to, because they got you over a barrel, and they'll teach you a lesson that will tell you when he's eligible, and we dealt with that, every little thing. But like I said, it's a 7-inch manual that you've got to have a law degree to figure out if you've done anything wrong.
Are you involved much with Nike and this kind of stuff, or the NAIA schools? I mean, they come and say, we'll give you all this stuff. Or
No. I wish they'll give you sometimes a discount. Most of the sporting goods dealers will give you a 25% discount on if you buy Nike or through them.
Sure.
But no, we don't get any of the big packages, and I do deserve that, but they don't want to give it to me. But I'd love to have it.
Then that's where a lot of the problem comes from.
Oh yeah, all that free stuff. So
I'll tell you a story, and this goes clear back to when I started coaching in 1966. I went to a coaching clinic, and at that particular time, Snowden Mize out of Atchison covered the entire state. And this guy from Snowden Mize said, coaches, quit asking our representatives to give you jackets and things like that. He says, we can't afford it. So this is not something that's new.
No, it's been around, and like I said, if you're a big Nike school, people don't understand. My equipment budget's like $3,000 for 24 kids. Well, at Oklahoma State, we had 12 girls, and our equipment budget was $30,000. You can't buy enough stuff to cover 12 kids. I mean, we bought rain suits, winter jackets. Like I said, I've got a closet full. Every week you'd have a new item and new stuff, and I think I deserved it, because it was, I worked hard. But it's amazing how the big companies give those kids and schools so much equipment.
They cater to the bigger big schools.
Sure
They want that logo on national TV. Well, that's just like, I wear a lot of Nike stuff because I have always worn it. So it's always out there, and that's what they want, the free advertising.
See, I don't buy anything that throws the Slash or anything, or Adidas or anything, because I don't want to give them free advertising. So none of my shirts have any of that stuff on them.
Well,
I'm serious.
I wear whatever I can that fits me. You know, being a nice svelty guy, I gotta have that double X, triple X. So, but I like the equipment they put out.
Sure, of course it's big business. It's big business stuff. And is the NAIA, and of course we had D1 and D2 and D3 and then NAIA. Are they pretty strict? Are they as strict as the NCAA on some of the rules? Or?
No rules.
No
rules. They have rules, but I can call a kid. I can like NCAA, you can only call during certain times and can't make personal contact. You know, you can kind of wave at a kid. I can go up after a game and talk to the kid, their parents, their coach. I can call them as many times as I want, because that's the advantage we need to have to compete against the NCAA. So it's nice. I get to build relationships with kids. Like I'll go to California, I'll sit down with the parents and have an in-home and really do some nice things face-to-face, where the NCAA, you have certain times you can do those
You don't
things.
have big signing days or anything like
Oh,
that?
we can sign anytime we want.
Okay.
I've already signed 2 juniors that decided from Liberty High School signed with us, and we can sign anytime, do whatever we want. So.
Do the scholarship limitations that Division I has allow kids to fall down through the cracks to you?
Yeah, right now the NCAA is still at 15, and I think the men are at 13, and that's helped even it out. But the women are still at 15, so they'll load up for 15 kids. But if they would drop it down a little bit, you would see a trickle-down effect, because kids still need places to go. And we get a lot of D1 transfers at the kids that don't get enough playing time or don't academic-wise make the grade. They'll drop down to our level because our academic standards are not as high, where you've got to keep that. We're a 2.0, and you got to stay above that, where NCAA, you got to have core classes and 2.5, and it's just a lot of, like I said, go back to that manual. But yeah, the 15 for the women make it hard for them to drop them all down. Everybody stockpiles the big kids. So I'd love to have them. If I can find any out here that are big that want to come to Kansas City, I'd take them in a heartbeat. So.
And anything, when you go out and recruit, what do you stress? Where they're going and what the whole college consists of?
Oh yeah, with me, I have my wife's a pharmacist, my daughter's a pharmacist, my other daughter's a nurse practitioner getting her doctorate degree. Then I go after the kids that are academic based right now. At our school, if they're coming just for basketball, it's probably not a good fit, because they've got to stay eligible. So that's one of my big deals. I recruit good students because they come with a good work ethic, and it's less headaches. I don't need to deal
keep them 4 years.
And I'll keep them 4 years, and that's big with the school. Our retention is one of our big deals. But I look for kids that the coaches that I know a coach that, hey, she's a good kid, then I'll take them. And I'll take kids that could be a step slow, could be short. I've got a 4'11" kid, and last year I had a 6'7" kid. So I don't care what I have.
Now you can get on here and say, "Come and play with me," can't you?
Oh yes,
But
anybody.
When I used to do the Mid-Continent League basketball tournament, I had the football coach from Fort Hays come up, and he talked about, and the next day he came and said, "You got me in trouble," because he couldn't talk about recruiting on the radio.
That's an unfair recruiting
and
advantage.
I didn't realize
that you
He
gave.
gave us, "You got me in trouble." And I said, "Well, eventually I don't think anything came of it, but I didn't know that you couldn't talk
At the
about
NCAA level, yeah, that's because that's an unfair recruiting advantage that it's going out to this group that it doesn't matter at our level, so we're fine. I'll take any Western Kansas
So if
kid.
you look right
Come
in the
on,
camera there and
there it
say,
is.
"Come on and play for me," right?
Come on and play. And at our school, my roster is 29 kids.
Mm-hmm.
So because we play a 32-game varsity schedule, and I play a 23-game JV schedule. So at our level at the NAI, kids can play 40 contests. So every one of my freshmen and sophomores and juniors this year will play 40 games. So they get battle tested real quick, and that helps us for the run for the national tournament. So if you want to play, that's my place. Come on down, because we'll play games.
How long do you plan to stay in this business?
Oh, I'll stay in as long as Tad keeps doing this. So just keep going.
Well,
Because we can sit here at the chair and I can raise 1 and 2, and I don't know how much they listen to me if I do call a play, but I'll stay in as long. I like what I do, and I don't have to travel as much as I did at the D1 level, so the recruiting isn't as bad. A lot of it on the phone calls, and so I'll stay in it probably another 5-10 years, whatever. I'm in no hurry. Till they get tired of me. If the nuns get tired of me, they'll let me know when I'm need to go.
Your bosses are nuns?
Oh yeah, yeah. The
Okay.
presidents and none.
Really?
And we're at the University of St. Mary, and that was one of my first questions. Is do I need to be Catholic? They said no. So we've got a great group, and they don't. I think 4 out of 29 kids are Catholic, so it's not a big deal.
That was my next question, and I'll ask you. Did they say when you recruit someone, do they ask, are they Catholic?
No, they did have a deal, but they took it out where if you went to a Catholic high school, you got extra money, but now they don't. But
okay.
they don't worry about it too much. They just want kids that'll stay for 4 years, and
Sure.
and our medical degrees are really good, so we get a lot of nurses, physical therapists, trainers. We get a lot on that side, and the business side with being in Kansas City is a plus. So thank you guys.
Well, thanks for coming on this morning. You get
Well-
out there again, we'll talk to you some more.
Well, and congratulations on the Hall of Fame
Thank
selection.
you.
You deserved it many more
Well,
years ago than just now.
well,
You should have had it. And,
I'm doing it state track. Everyone wants to know where I'm going to get it. State track.
well, good. Well, that's it. Well, if I get a chance and I'm not out recruiting, I'll come down and
Okay, if it's Saturday afternoon, 4 o'clock, at
I'll-
Cessna Stadium.
I'll try to
and
do
you know
that.
where Cessna Stadium
I've
is.
been there many times sitting there. I did, some track with you one year too.
Okay, fine.
So-
Thank you.
Thank
Bruce.
you.
Merry Christmas.
Merry Christmas.
I tell you, the kids both my boys always had all kinds of stories to tell about Bruce. We'll talk to Joe Jackson in just a second. A reminder that this program also brought to you by all your friends at Farmers State Bank, where interest begins the moment you enter the door. Interest on your member FDIC. Mapes and Miller, it's not what you make, but what you keep. Mid-America Real Estate, providing the best homes in the area for over 40 years. Watsons and Butterflies, making beautiful flowers a part of your life. And Sign Solutions, your one-stop sign shop, and so much more. We tried to do Santa on Thursday on the Tadpole, and it wasn't our fault. Verizon lost its tower or something, and so we didn't. We're going to try it again this morning at the end of all the interviews we have here. So bear with us for that. Hi, Joe.
Hey, Tad, how are you doing?
Just fine,
Hey,
thank you.
how's it going?
All right.
That's
Come
good.
Got to get you on here. Last I heard, you were boys coach at Wichita East,
That's still correct.
which
So-
is to me is a small college almost. you know?
well, yeah, we've had some pretty good players there for sure.
Yeah,
So,
okay.
yeah.
Let's talk about your background. I know you graduated Logan, and you were Keith Riley's assistant for how long?
I was right out of graduated Logan High School in 2000. Went to Fort Hays State. In 2005, the fall of 2005, I student taught at Hill City, and then after I student taught there, I got hired on to teach and coach there. So I stayed there. I got to work under Coach Riley for 4 years
Hey,
there.
how can you work
And
under
there's
anyone better than that?
nobody better to learn from, without a doubt. And hopefully he doesn't see this. We don't want to give him too much credit, But no, he was phenomenal to work under and everything else. And then after my 4th year at Hill City. Had the opportunity to move down to Wichita, and I've been at Wichita East since 2009, and was an assistant there for the first 3 years under Ron Allen, and between Coach Riley being a Hall of Famer and Coach Allen, who I worked under at Wichita East, was a Hall of Famer, and now surrounding myself with another Hall of Famer here, that's a pretty good experience. So, but I've been at East for this is year number 9, and year number 6 as the head coach there. So.
So, and you've been very successful. You had one of the best players in the state.
We have had. We've had, in 2015, we won the state championship. We went 24-1. We were a bucket away from being 25-0 that year, and we had 2 players that were in that were first team All-State, all classes. So I mean, good players make you look good as a coach, and you know, both those kids are doing really well. We've got a kid playing a lot of minutes for Wichita State right now, Samaje Haynes-Jones, and Zach Jackson was very under-recruited, and Zach is at University of Nebraska Omaha right now, and he has just had a phenomenal season as a junior right now. He's been a starter since his freshman year, and Zach has just been incredible. He you know, he's had double-digit games against a lot of major colleges. He had a double-double against KU the other night. Washington University, he had 28 points against Washington, and so I mean, he's just doing really well. So
You try to watch the games when they play?
as much as possible, definitely as much as possible. I make it out to just about all of Samaje's home games at Wichita State. Zach, I got to go down to Norman, Oklahoma when they played OU this year. I got to see him at Norman, and then they just played KU last week, and I got to drive up to Lawrence and see Zach there as well. So we've got another, you know, Tyus Martin's at Washburn right now. We've got several kids at the junior college level. We got a kid at Friends. So I mean, it's been a lot of fun. We've had a lot of great kids and kids that want to be ball players, which is a lot of fun.
I have to ask you, going from Logan High School and Hill City High School to Wichita East, was there a little culture shock there?
You know, people ask that all the time, and you know, it's definitely different from the aspect that, I mean, there's 23 this year, right at 2,400 students at East High School, and so you know, the kids don't believe it in my classes, but I tell them that East is about 3 or 4 times bigger than my hometown, you know, than Logan, and but really, you know, I think as far as the culture shock, you know, when I moved there to be a teacher and a coach, and you just go about your business and you try to do things the right way, and I think kids are very receptive to that. If they see that you're going to work hard for them and you're in it for the right reasons and you're going to benefit them down the road, you know, and ultimately if they buy into what we're doing is going to benefit the team, I think, you know, I really didn't experience that much culture shock, you know, so it's been a great experience.
As a head coach, do you have to deal with problems of the inner city?
You know, we've had my first year as an assistant there, we had a couple of team issues, and Coach Allen had to kick 2 kids off the team just from, you know, a violation of team rules and stuff that you probably wouldn't have seen normally in a smaller Western Kansas school. But you know, honestly, we've had phenomenal kids in our program. A lot of the nonsense has kind of been weeded out and everything else. And once in a while, we've had a couple kids transfer because they don't want to be about the right things, and that's the way it goes, and that's fine. And you know, and that's happened, you know, multiple times over the years. But the kids that have been there, I mean, I can go to bat and say we've had genuinely great kids in the program, and I really translate, you know, that and some of the decisions they're making off the court into, you know, a lot of the reason we've had success, you know, on the court as well.
You know, I can remember when I was in high school, Garden City, in the late 40s and 50s, Wichita East was the biggest high school in the country because they didn't have a north and a south and all that.
Sure,
and it was
sure.
a huge school.
Absolutely.
And now Wichita, that must be something else with all the schools there. Is there much? I'm going to ask this. You're going to ask, is there much? One school they kind of get someone from another school much in Wichita.
You know, there's that happens more than it probably should. You know, there are several coaches in the City League that are doing things the right way, and they're not trying to go out and steal players from other kids and everything else. And when it comes right down to it, you know, I honestly feel. And we've had a lot of phenomenal parents and everything else, but we're just in an era right now, and you know, at this point in time, society has kind of made it okay for you know, we've had a lot of parents that shop their kids around more so than coaches actually trying to steal. We've had a lot of people kind of shopping their kids and everything else, and who can do the most for me and everything else, and I understand that, I get that, but I think more so than there's probably a couple of coaches that people would question whether or not they're doing some things they shouldn't be and everything else. But for the most part, across the City League, you know, I would say most of the coaches are doing it the right way.
Sometimes that's happened in small schools too.
Sure,
where
absolutely.
Parents are are shopping their
Yep,
kids around,
yep,
and they'll
yep.
move.
And the parents, if they move, they're eligible immediately, right? But if they don't, it's
Absolutely.
18 weeks, right?
Yep,
Yeah.
yep.
If they go somewhere.
If it's
so.
a bona fide move is what Keisha's term for it is. If it's a bona fide move and it has to be with the same parent, it can't be a kid couldn't play a semester with us or a year with us and that lives with mom and then decide to go move with dad to play for a different school. That wouldn't be considered a bona fide move. They'd have to move with the parent they're living with and everything else. And so there's a lot of red flags and tape and everything else there. So that's.
And from the parent standpoint, I want my son or daughter to go here because they're going to be seen more, and they're thinking down the
Sure.
road, And
Sure.
of course, the pros go where the money is now.
That's right.
And
It's across the board. It's across the board.
yeah.
Yeah, absolutely. Absolutely.
I wish we could do something about. Go ahead.
Are there any boundaries in the city of Wichita?
There are. So each school has their own attendance area. So throughout the city of Wichita, there are boundaries drawn up. There's the district map is published on the school website and everything else, and you can see kind of where each school's boundary is and everything else. And then once in a while, if there will be I'm sure there's some parents that will come up with a false address to get their kids to a certain school or whatnot and everything else, but technically kids that live in a certain area are supposed to go to that school, and we're kind of unique in a way as well. We've got a couple of magnet schools, and Northeast Magnet High School doesn't have athletics. So Northeast Magnet is a school where if a kid was really into engineering or the arts or anything like that, they could choose to attend Northeast Magnet, but then based on where they live, they compete in athletics for the high school in which the area they live. So that's kind of a unique situation too. So we've actually got a senior kid right now, a 6'3" kid who has won all kinds of awards as far as through the Boys and Girls Club of America. Chris Burrell has won about $100,000 in scholarships from being the Youth of the Year. Completely just writing a few essays and telling his story and everything else. Nothing basketball related, but Chris is a Northeast Magnet student and that lives in our attendance area. So Chris will go to Northeast Magnet and doesn't attend East High School, but he competes for us because he lives in our area. So it's kind of unique as well, because once in a while, I would say probably every school has a Northeast Magnet student on their roster. So that's a little bit unique as well, that we have a kid competing for us that doesn't actually attend our school. So
Yeah, that would be a different
yeah,
situation.
sure.
We had you on one Saturday morning at the state track. We had you
Yeah.
on, and we've always talked about this, and I don't want to get you in trouble here, but in 1 and 2A schools, we always talked about 3A, 4A. More people came than 5 and 6. Do you see that in the larger schools? Or is there a lot of parental support and grandmothers and
it's really interesting. We've been very, very fortunate at East to have, I walked into a great situation, a school that had a lot of basketball tradition and everything else. And I mean, we would, my second year as the head coach there in 2014, we went 22-3. We took 3rd at state, had a great team. We had a ton of support. I mean, we would, 2014, 15, 16, there were multiple nights we'd sell out the gym and just have a great environment. And then at the same time, there are other places that maybe aren't quite as traditional and everything else, and you just don't get as good of a crowd and everything else, and that that happens. But I think one advantage to and one thing I really miss about the smaller communities is that community support. If there's one school in a town, I mean, the support you see is everybody's all in. That's right, and that's that's pretty special. And that's we've had a lot of support, so I'm very, very thankful for that. But it's just a little bit different than the smaller communities. That's one of the things I definitely do miss. So
I think I've always said that the 1A schools probably support their schools better than any other classification.
Sure, absolutely.
Everyone goes, and that's the time when you rob the bank in that town.
That's right.
Yep. We were playing out of town.
I know when at Logan, when we were on the road somewhere for football or basketball, the town was shut down.
And that's the way it should be, because schools, most of the smaller communities, everything's around the school. And
absolutely.
You talk about closing the school, it's a bad deal when it happens, and consolidating and all that. But
Sure.
One other question I want to ask: what about media? What about the media in the TVs there? And you have 3 channels, local channels, and I watched one of them, and the coverage they get. How do they determine where they're going to cover?
I think a lot of that's just based on the game that they're, a couple of the different radio stations do a game of the week and everything else, and the TV show, a couple of the news stations might do the same, and they'll kind of determine that by matchup. So, we have a great rivalry with Southeast and with Heights, and so when Dave was talking about culture shock earlier, the one thing that really jumped out at me, my very first year at East, our first game of the season was against Heights, and Perry Ellis would have been a junior that year at Heights. And we had played, I was coaching the freshman team, and our freshman team played at Heights that night, and we had to come back. It was actually a home game at East for the varsity. So I'm at our freshman game at Heights, first game I've coached in Wichita. I come back and the varsity game has just started, so I'm just, I missed just a little bit of the start of the game because our freshman game ran late. And literally, I pull in the back parking lot of the school, and there are 4 or 5 TV trucks there, with the antennas cranked up, pointing above the school, shooting their signal out. And I'm thinking, holy cow, this is a big deal. And literally, the first play I witnessed, I walked in the back door to our locker room, came out the locker room, was walking across the baseline, and Perry Ellis gets a steal and goes down, and he threw it down pretty hard. That was literally the first play I saw in high school action, that was probably as much of a culture shock as anything right there. Just witnessing that. So,
Okay, well,
The talent level is a little different at, you're a 6A school, right?
we're a 6A school right now. We are, and still the biggest high school in Kansas. So we've had, this is crazy, but my very first year as the freshman coach there, we had 80 kids that tried out just for the freshman team. That was at 6 in the morning. At 6 a.m. we had 80 freshmen in the gym trying to make the freshman team, and that hasn't quite been the same. That's part of the one of the benefits, I guess, of having a little bit of success is we've had some kids in the program and some good young kids, and by the time they get to be juniors and seniors now, not as many kids try out by the time they're JV varsity level, there's a lot of kids. Talent level is really high. Up until this past year, junior colleges, Kansas junior colleges were required to take Kansas kids, and now that rule has went away. We used to basically be able to tell our kids that if you make the basketball team at East as a senior, you're going to get a college scholarship somewhere. And even now that rule has went away, we still we had 2 kids that didn't start for us last year that got a college scholarship to go play college basketball. So they're not even starting for their high school, but yet they're in college playing basketball. And so that's been a great thing. It's been a lot of fun.
So you have to have a process that you have to cut your squad, and how many do you cut down to?
Between the junior varsity and varsity level, our JV and varsity practice together, and we keep that. We prefer 18, but you always have some kids that have worked hard and done things the right way and everything else, and so the max we'll keep when JV varsity is 20. And it's just if you have more than 20 kids in the same practice, you're just not going to get a lot done. Kids aren't getting the reps they need, and if you're a guy number 21, 22, 23, if you're not getting equal reps with everybody else, they're not having a good time either, and then that negative energy a lot of times takes away from what you're trying to do in practice. So we definitely want to keep it to 20. Right now, this year we're at 19 right now, but we've got a senior that's been injured that hasn't played yet, so it'll be right at 20 when he comes back. And then our sophomore team and freshman team practice at 6 in the morning, and we've got 12 on each one of those rosters. So we've got 44 kids in the program, freshman team, sophomore team, JV varsity.
So how many coaches do you have?
4 coaches, 1 coach per level. We've been very, very fortunate here. We had a really kind of a horrific accident here. A guy that was my right-hand man. We worked together when I was the freshman coach. He was the sophomore coach. His name was серьезь Alford. Amos was 51 years old and passed from a heart attack. Just dropped last April 20th. And I've worked side by side with him for 9 years, so that's been a really tragic thing, and we've kind of dedicated this season for him and everything else. But we had, Coach Alford had passed, and then we had one other coach that's moved to Kansas City, got a better teaching job actually, and so he moved up there to Kansas City, and so we had to hire 2 new coaches this year, and we're very fortunate. Craig Nicholson was an All-American at Fort Hays State and a Wichita Northwest graduate. Craig's coaching with us this year and has done just an incredible job. Jeray Matthews played at Newman University and has done a phenomenal job for us. And then Tommy Brumbelow is just in his 2nd year at East, and he's our JV coach this year. And he's another Newman guy that has so we've got some really, really good coaches. And I'd put our staff up against anybody as far as being, the best staff in the state. So we've got great coaches that are passionate and, working with kids and coaching them up. And we're just trying to get better every single day.
We could talk for another hour.
Yeah,
here.
sure,
We've got
sure.
9 kids waiting
Yep.
to come on and excited to get
Absolutely.
So, Joe,
Tad,
good luck.
Congratulations on the Hall of Fame.
Fine, thank
Very,
you.
very well deserved. Very
Thank
well
you.
deserved.
And I always look to see how Wichita East comes out in the scores.
Well, thank you very much. And I've got to say congratulations to Coach Covington, too. J.B. Covington was my high school coach in football and basketball, and he's done a phenomenal job over here at Phillipsburg. So I want to congratulate Coach Covington as well. And, I think a lot of the work ethic that I got was instilled in me by him. And so, that's a guy I'd still do anything for to this day. So,
Well, you have a Merry Christmas.
Merry Christmas to you both.
Say
Absolutely.
little
Take
Bob and Sue for me.
Definitely will
I went
do.
to New
Will do.
York a lot of times with Sue.
I hear you're going back again. Mom told me you're going back.
Yeah.
So that's great.
Yeah, I'm heading back that way.
That sounds great, guys.
Actually, 3 weeks from today, I'll be there. So
That sounds like
we'll
fun.
see.
It's good
Yeah.
to see you guys.
Thank you,
Take care. Merry
Joe.
Christmas.
All right. All right. We'd like to thank all the athletes who have been very patient here with us while we're getting. Okay, we're going to have someone come in a minute. We'll remind you that Madison Motors in business for over 70 years. Rogers Associates, your local trusted choice agency. Phillips County Health Systems, Olaf Bovey Memorial Chapel. Stephen E. Russ, your State Farm agent. Sonic Drive-In, like them on Facebook for the Sonic deals. Phillipsburg Chamber and Main Street, the Farmers and Ranchers Outlet, of course. The Third Street Bakery, making it possible for us to come in here every Saturday morning to do this, Dave. And then we appreciate you coming in here. I tell you, both Bruce and Joe, they're coaches. They talk. It's very.
Oh yeah, they're very good. Bruce, with his experience at Oklahoma State, was really fantastic, and Joe, I've always thought the world of him. Of course, his dad was my boss when I was commissioner of the Cheyenne Conference, and so one of my bosses.
Okay, very good. We're going to talk with some of the athletes. Now, what we've done every year, basketball hadn't been played for a while. Tuesday night, so it's hard to get the coaches on. The vacation started. A lot of athletes come back from college, or maybe they've completed it, and we always try to get them on here the last program before Christmas, and that's what we're doing. We have 9 different folks we're going to talk with this morning, and we have our first young lady here. What I'm going to do, name, where you graduated, and where you're going to college.
All right, my name is Courtney Cunningham. I graduated from Northern Valley in 2015, and I am currently attending Kansas Wesleyan.
Okay, let's talk about Northern Valley. I've had the Northern Valley volleyball team on here, and they were very successful this year. Do you kind of keep track of what's happening with the Lady Huskies?
Yeah, I heard that they won state and did a really good job and had a really nice season.
Right. So, what made you Kansas Wesleyan?
Yeah.
What made you end up at Kansas Wesleyan?
Well, after I graduated at Northern Valley, I went and played 2 years at Heston College.
Okay.
And then this past summer, I was wanting to continue. I had 2 more years of school left, and Heston's only a 2-year. So I decided to look around at some schools, and Kansas Wesleyan was kind of like the best fit for me. I tried out with the girls, and the girls are all really nice and very supportive and stuff like that, and I just knew that was a team I wanted to be a part of. And so that's kind of why I chose Kansas Wesleyan.
Okay, Courtney, what position do you play?
I play right side.
Okay. And so your season, you got one more year then?
Yep.
Okay, one more. How did your season
Our season was really good this year. We went 26-10 in regular play,
Okay,
and
wow.
then 19-3 in conference.
Okay.
And we ended up winning our conference, so that was pretty cool.
Sure. Do you go on then? KCAC, right?
Correct,
Okay.
yeah.
So did you make any postseason?
We went and we had our end of the season tournament, and our libero got a concussion, so she wasn't able to play, and then I wasn't able to play because I had gotten sick, and so I wasn't allowed to play. So we didn't make it any further than we didn't go on to nationals, but
Of course, that's always what you want to. What do you go for? What are you taking in school? What do you,
my major is physical education.
okay, so what do you want to do? You want to coach,
Yeah, I would like to coach and teach.
teach, and coach?
Yeah.
Okay. High school level or college?
Yeah, high school level. I'm not exactly for sure yet, but I'd like to go and teach around here sometime.
Sure. And looking in Kansas Western, we've had some girls around here who have gone on to be very successful at Kansas Western. Did that have anything to do with maybe the season go there? You said, did you look at the school that maybe had an opening? What you played, is that kind of how you decided what you wanted to do?
Not really. I mean, that
Okay.
wasn't a deciding factor for me. I think when I went on college visits, Kansas Westland just stuck out in their school
sure.
and their athletics and just their overall coach. Fred Abishon's a really good coach, and I've learned a lot this season, so he's kind of helped me with that.
Besides volleyball, what else would you like to coach?
If I didn't coach volleyball, I'd like to coach basketball. Basketball's always been close to my heart too, so.
It's amazing. I was really trying to find out athletes, and I happened to be out at the bank, and Jordan, I talked to Jordan, and he said, yeah, Northern Valley, I've got her phone number, and that's how we got, it's amazing. Jordan Gerard really helped me a lot finding some of the, not only from Logan, from Northern Valley, and who to come on there, so I appreciate that. So you want to, so one more year, right?
Yep.
And what's your favorite team? What college team do you like to play against? What's your rival, I guess?
I would say Tabor.
Okay.
Tabor is probably my favorite to play against because there's a girl that was on my team at Heston that plays at Tabor. And so it's just kind of, and Tabor's kind of been a school rival that we have, so.
I thought Heston, it's not a 4. I always thought Heston was a 4-year. It's just 2 years.
It's just a 2-year.
I didn't realize that. I always
Yep.
thought they were part of the KCAC, but it's a junior college. That's
Yeah.
the kind of, okay.
Yep.
Any other questions for Courtney? Big plans for Christmas?
Oh, just staying around here, going to grandma's.
Okay. And then when's next semester? When do you have to go back?
January 17th.
When I went to college. See, back when we walked to college, when we walked to school up way, and snow every day, uphill both ways, back when I was in school.
Tied their horses on a hitch.
Yeah, right. If we got out the day before Christmas, and we went the day after. Now it's about a month.
Yeah.
Isn't it? You learn anything in college anymore?
Oh, yeah.
Okay. So you're going to go into physical education, something, gym work maybe, or?
Yeah, like PE and coaching.
Okay, sure. All right. Well, what do you want for Christmas? What's Santa going to bring? We're going to try to talk to Santa later on in the program. I could put in a good word for you if you want me to.
I don't know.
Okay. Not an Xbox or anything like
No.
that. Okay,
No.
good. I think that seems to be the big thing. Anyway, Courtney, well, good luck.
Thank you.
And thank you.
Thank
And
you.
Merry Christmas.
You
and thanks
too.
for coming on.
Thank
We
you.
Merry
appreciate it. You have
Christmas.
a good vacation.
Thank you.
And a good second semester and a good next. Okay,
Thank
fine.
you.
Courtney Cunningham with us there. We do appreciate coming. All right, we're going to find out some. Yeah, Brooke writes. Hi, Brooke.
Hi.
Okay, Brooke Baird, Northern Valley. Where are you, and what are you playing now?
Right now I am at Cloud County Community College in Concordia, and I have been playing volleyball for 2 years.
Okay.
And I am a defensive specialist / libero.
Okay, and where are you going next year?
Next year I'm going to go to K-State.
Okay, are you
Yep.
going to try to play volleyball?
I'm not going to play volleyball. I'm just going to finish my education.
You're just going to go to school,
Yep,
right?
just gonna go to school.
Just go to school.
It'll be
Okay.
weird not being busy with a sport,
Oh,
but
yeah. Well, I had your mother on.
Oh, yeah, I saw that.
Oh, you did?
Yeah.
Okay, well, that's great. And, of course, very successful in Northern
Yes.
Valley. What made you decide to go to Cloud County?
It was just kind of a good fit for me. I knew I wanted to play volleyball. I wasn't sure where. But as soon as I went on my visit to Cloud, I loved the girls, I loved the coach, and they had my major, which is dietetics, and a lot of schools don't. So it just kind of worked out perfect.
So you're majoring in dietetics.
Yes.
What do you want to do with that?
Well, right now, there's lots of opportunities in it. You could get a job in a hospital as a dietitian. You could work for a sports team. You could work at a nursing home. So I'm not sure what I want to do. I'll just kind of see where it takes me, see what kind of opportunities I have with that.
And so that's what, obviously, why you're going to K-State to
Yep.
continue
Yep.
on in that. And what made you think along that line? Is someone you know, or why dietetics?
I've always just kind of been a health freak. I don't know. I
Okay.
love learning about it, and it's so interesting. So that's kind of why I picked it.
Okay. Of course, coming out of Northern Valley and going to, were you recruited? You were recruited to come to Cloud County?
Yep,
Come
I was
talk to you
recruited.
about it?
Yep.
Okay. What was that process like?
I actually didn't get recruited till like December my senior year because I really wasn't sure what I wanted to do. But as soon as Coach Molly called me and I went on a visit, I knew that that's exactly where I wanted to be. And then Kristen Grieving, who is from Logan, she lives about 5 miles from me. And we actually went kind of together and tried out together, and we were both like, "Wow, we like really love it here." And so we went together, and it was
That's good.
awesome.
And
Yeah.
she can't come because her
Yep.
great grandmother's funeral was this morning, and we appreciate the fact that she thought maybe we can get her on her later on. She did contact us
Yeah.
and say that. Did you get to travel quite a bit with the colleagues?
Yeah, we had a tournament in Colorado. We had a big tournament in St. Louis, Missouri. But that was kind of about all we traveled. Of course, some of our league schools are pretty, like Seward. That was about 6 hours away.
Sure.
But
right,
yeah.
That's down Liberal.
Yep.
And but you're going to go to college at K-State, but you're just going to. It's
Yep.
going to be a big withdrawal on that, isn't it?
Yeah, it'll be different for sure.
Does like K-State, do they have somebody in dietetics that works with their athletic teams?
I'm sure they do. I know a lot of sports teams nowadays, they all sports teams have a dietitian. So I haven't really talked to anybody there. I mean, I've talked to an advisor about it, but I haven't contacted like the dietitian for like the volleyball team or anything there. But I'll have to do that. I'll have to look into that for sure, because that'd be something I would love to do.
That'd get you close to the team. And
Yep.
Northern Valley, of course, always had the long, for years, the quality sports you've done there. It's interesting. She only lived 5 miles from me. She went to Logan, and you were real close to those school district lines then, right?
Yeah.
That worked. Were you teammates? I mean, did you stay together in
Well, we
Cloud County?
played club ball together,
Sure,
so we
okay.
played
All
sports
right,
together in high
okay.
school. And then we were still very good friends at Cloud County.
Okay,
Yep.
so
you know, one of the neatest things I ever saw was when Logan and Northern Valley played in the finals of the 1A state basketball tournament for girls.
Yeah.
And after the game was over with, both teams stayed out on the court and took pictures together. A lot of the players were related from
great,
from
yeah.
one
there's-
town to the other.
the green and the red, right?
Yep.
Okay. What do you want for Christmas? I'm going to ask that.
What do I want for Christmas? I don't really know. I
Okay,
haven't
all right.
really thought about it.
That's amazing. I guess you have to be younger. The younger ones know exactly what they want for Christmas.
Yeah.
I want this or that and everything like that. Are you really big in iPhones and iPads and that? Are you?
I have an iPhone and I use my MacBook,
Yeah. Really?
but I mean that's kind of just for homework.
Sure.
But yeah, I don't really need anything. I don't think.
All right. Well, I forgot to. You want to look in there and say hey, Merry Christmas, anyone, and anyone to talk to?
Just Merry Christmas to my family and friends.
I should have had the other one come on and talk about that too, but Courtney. But I'll have everyone else. So, you big plans for Christmas?
Nope. Just going to my grandma's Christmas Eve, and then my mom's side Christmas Day.
Okay.
Kind of what we do every year.
Okay, fine, very good. Congratulations
Thank
on
you.
them.
Thanks
Good
for
luck
having
at
me.
K-State.
Thank you.
And your libero. Did you like did you that in high school too, libero? Or?
No, in high school I played all the way around.
Okay.
But I mean, I'm glad there's lots of tall, big hitters, and it just fit for me better. She just
Sure.
put me as
Okay,
libero,
fine.
so.
Well,
But
thank you.
Yep, you're
Thank
welcome.
Good luck.
Thank
Have a
you.
good- All right. Enjoying this talking with the athletes. Who do we have coming up next here? Seth? Yeah. Okay. Well, first, Seth, when you sit down here, you've got to. I mean, you're overkill today. You are overkill today. You know. Anyway, thanks for coming on, Seth.
Thanks for having me.
You got through
I'm
the-
disappointed he doesn't have any Bethany stuff on.
Yeah. Okay.
I don't know if I can still wear that anymore.
Okay. Let's talk about when did you graduate from Phillipsburg High School?
I graduated Phillipsburg in 2013.
Okay. And then where'd you go?
I went to a Bethany for 2.5 years, and then
Okay.
now I'm at University of Nebraska at Lincoln.
Why am I not surprised? Okay.
Did you tell?
Yeah, I could tell a little bit there. We got a new football coach there, and
Yeah.
congratulations on the volleyball. I tell you, I watched that the other night. I mean to tell you, they just took it. They did very well.
Yeah, they did. They did.
Did very well.
So do you have any
You probably had
eligibility
Seth
left?
in high school, didn't you?
Oh yeah, I had Seth. He's one of the many athletes that made me look pretty good.
And of course, his weights. Did you hit? Was he under your tutelage?
He threw
Okay.
javelin.
Okay,
Javelin. for
Javelin,
me.
right? Okay. So, did you specialize? What did you do in high school? Did you do all the weights, or what did you do? Or did you just specialize in javelin even in high school?
No, I threw, jumped, and ran in high school.
Wow. Okay. And when did you finally say, "Hey, this javelin is what I can do"?
Probably about sophomore year. I mean, I did it a little bit freshman year, but I wasn't that good at it. And then sophomore year, I started picking it up more, and
Yeah.
things started to click.
Okay. Is that and when you went to school? Was that what you went to do? Is
Yeah.
throw a javelin?
Yeah, I went and did
Okay,
javelin.
Okay. And when did they change before they changed the javelin? Or they were throwing it out on the side. They changed it, didn't they? They put
Yeah,
different-
that was
different
several
weight.
years before.
It was like in
before
92
Seth
or
started.
98 or
Right.
something like that.
Did you ever throw the old javelin?
No, I haven't.
Okay. Was it harder to throw or was it easier to throw? Why
No,
did they
well,
change?
the thing was the weighting,
Mm-hmm.
and when they changed the weight, it was supposed to make it a safer
Mm-hmm.
event, so that the tip would come down. Well, the kids learned that they needed to throw it higher,
Okay.
and so the distances are getting back up. Like
Yep.
Seth's
Yeah.
school record's 193.11, I think.
Yeah. Wow.
And that's farther than I'd ever had anybody throw with the old javelin.
Mm-hmm.
So, he learned, and the ironic thing was he set the record his senior year at Fort Hays, first meet of the year, and right before he threw, I told him, I said, don't try to jump on it. And he just nice and smooth and just flew out there.
Yeah.
So, and Seth won the state as a junior, and he was second as a senior.
Out behind the Cecil Stadium after you used to go up there and watch with them. Okay, so then you ended up. Where did you set all your good records and how your high rankings in the country? Where was that at Nebraska, or where was it that you did so well on the javelin?
Well, when I was at Bethany, NAI level, I got second nationals.
Okay.
Then
Wow.
I went to Nebraska, and when I went there, I got to compete at the national championships up in Oregon.
Okay.
So that would be the top 24 in the country.
Wow. Okay. Did it make any difference where you threw? And I've always wondered. They say, wind in your face, is that better for the javelin, or a following wind, or what? What's the best weather for throwing the javelin? Because I've heard all kinds of stories on that.
That all depends on who you are.
Okay.
Like, you're
Well,
supposed
that's
to
good.
want a headwind.
Okay.
Because they make javelins different for tailwinds and headwinds.
They do.
Yeah, and I prefer a tailwind,
Okay. All
but
right.
a lot of people prefer headwinds.
Okay. You mean you can have two different kinds of javelins? You can.
There's a lot of different kinds
Really?
of javelins.
I thought it was all. I didn't realize that. I thought they were all the same. I thought you had to
no.
throw the all. Really?
Yeah, they got different size tips on them.
Really?
Yeah,
Do they have to weigh the same though?
they all weigh the same,
They
and
have
they're
to weigh
the same length.
And they same length. They always
Yep.
same weigh them there. And
Yep.
did you ever have? Did one ever weigh too much or something?
Yeah, that's happened. What you're supposed to do, you're supposed to stay like 2 or 3 just in case that happens.
Yeah.
In case one of them doesn't check in.
Yeah.
You always have a backup javelin.
Wow, that's amazing. How do they pick up weight? It's amazing. If they were at this place, they wouldn't be at this place. That's
Yeah.
interesting.
Sometimes it'll weigh in one place, one time it doesn't. Say you throw it at practice and it chips.
Okay.
You lose some weight on there.
That You know, we went to a track meet one time, and they only took one javelin along. And I said, "What are you going to do if you break the javelin?"
Well,
And you've got to
it's
have,
not
and
thought
that,
about that.
and that happens.
Yeah.
Do you ever have a javelin break on you?
I haven't, but I've seen it happen.
Really?
Yeah.
Okay.
Just throwing it and the tip just fell off
Okay, now,
mid-flight.
you went to nationals, representing University of Nebraska.
Yes.
Right? Okay, and where was that at again?
Eugene, Oregon.
That-
Yep.
That's a big place. They really like track out
Oh,
there. in
they
Oregon.
love track out there. It's phenomenal.
You know, is it? So what are you doing now?
I'm still finishing up my bachelor's degree.
Okay. Are you through throwing? Or?
Yeah, I'm out of eligibility.
Okay. Yeah. Did you ever throw indoors?
No, we don't throw indoor for javelin.
Dude, I thought they had a shorter javelin or something for indoors.
Well, there's some practice
Practice
javelins.
javelins, okay,
Practice
all right.
Well,
javelins.
we would
you can
practice in our football field.
Okay.
Just put a rubber tip on the javelin,
Oh, okay.
and it's a full-size javelin
Sure.
you throw inside.
That's what you did. So what's your major? What are you going to do?
I'm majoring in business administration. I couldn't tell you what I'm doing yet.
Oh, okay. Well, hey, that's my degree is in business administration. I never used it in my life. You know, it's obvious because of my checking account and everything. But anyway, it's amazing how you do one thing, but you don't know what you're going to
Yeah,
do. How
yeah.
much more? How much? One more semester?
Just another semester. I'm graduating in May.
Okay, then, but you don't know.
Nope.
Don't
Don't know
have
where
any
I'm
feelings
going. Don't
on
know
you?
what I'm doing.
Wow. Yeah.
Maybe.
Can you throw a
That'd be
javelin
okay.
professionally?
I can't. No, I'm not good enough for that.
Okay, but do they? Are they professional?
Oh, yeah. Oh, yeah.
yes. I had John Mason on last week. He
yeah.
talked about running, and for a long time in the United States, you had to be amateurs. Everywhere else it was pros, and now
Oh, yeah.
of course you make it. So you can't get a little slash up here and someone sponsor you overseas.
No, no.
Seth's in the top 10 in the history of Nebraska javelin throwing.
Okay, well, that's my. I knew that you had some top 10 there. When you throw it, I mean, do you know? Hey, I've got a good one. When you let go of it, you know it's gonna go. Or
Sometimes you do, sometimes you don't. Because
Yeah.
normally, if you try too hard, it's not going to go very far.
Yeah.
So it's the ones that you don't really try that actually end up flying really far.
Sure. Yeah. Well, that's great. And congratulations. What do you want for Christmas?
At this point in my life, I'd like my rent paid for.
Spoken like a true student. Like a true student. Okay. All right. Well, Seth, who do you want to say Merry Christmas to out there?
Just Merry Christmas to my family.
Okay. And when do you have to go back?
About the 5th of January or so.
Oh, you have to go back early.
Yeah,
on.
probably has to start the 8th.
They do. Okay.
Yeah.
You don't have as much time as Kansas Wesleyan does.
No, I don't.
Okay, all right. Seth, thanks a lot.
Thank
I've
you.
enjoyed you in high school and coverage at state and everything
Appreciate
through the
it.
years. Fine, thank you. Merry Christmas.
Merry Christmas, Seth.
Yeah, wow. Okay. Next we have.
Thanks, Seth.
All right. Name, school, graduated, what you're going now, and what you're doing.
I'm Michaela Gerard from Logan, Kansas. Graduated from Logan High in 2014.
Okay.
And I played volleyball at Friends for 4 years. Just finished my last season.
Wow, 4 years
Yep.
there. What was it like in college?
It was really busy.
Well,
Very, very busy.
was it a big change from, it's a dumb question, big change from high school to college?
Oh, yeah.
Well, everyone's good in college, aren't they? Yeah.
Yeah, you basically have all your top athletes from every high school in one place. So
Did you have a chance to go to any other schools, or did they kind of?
yeah, there's a bunch of other schools. I chose Friends just because of the environment and everything.
Was it good, nice school?
Yeah, their housing is actually apartments and stuff, so you never actually live in a dorm. You have your own room and
Okay,
stuff.
wow.
So that's what are you going to do this your senior year? Or will you graduate in the spring?
Yeah, I student teach this coming semester, and then I'll be hitting the real world.
And what level are you teaching?
Second grade, and then probably special ed.
Have you signed with anyone yet, or where are you doing your student teaching?
It's in Wichita. It's right down the road from the
Okay.
university.
Okay, that's right on Kellogg. area.
Yep.
Okay, all right. But your brother Jordan is the one that kind of got me into. He
Yeah.
really helped me with the Cunningham girl and you. And he said, "You got to do this." I really appreciate Jordan getting me going there. Did you do any of the sports in high school?
Track and basketball.
Okay, it was usually small schools. If you
Yeah.
wanted to do all three, what was your favorite thing to do?
Track and volleyball probably even out pretty well.
I know Michaela. You have a.
What'd you do in track?
The 100 and 200?
Did you ever go to state?
Yeah. My freshman year I did long jump and the 4x1 at state, and then every other year was 100 and 200.
Where would you like to teach? In large school, small school?
Definitely a small
go to
school,
a small town?
which is how I opened my eyes on that one.
How's that done? At schools, they find out you're available and they start contacting you. Michaela, how's that work?
You have to start applying to them and stuff, but our program's pretty good about getting our names out and everything. And we have a bunch of connections throughout the USD 259 in Wichita.
Your 4 years of French, what'd you play?
Back row DS.
Okay. Were you successful those 4 years?
Yeah, my first year I tore my ACL, so I had to take a year off.
Yeah, okay.
But other than that, it was
Is
pretty
that
cool.
all right? Is your ACL all right?
Yep.
No.
I tore 3, so
Okay.
I'm back now.
Did it bother you much? Did it take you much rehabilitation on that?
Each one was about 8 months,
Okay.
so there's some time put into it, but
Did you sometimes wonder what I'm doing all this?
it was crazy.
Did you enjoy the rehab?
The rehab was very tedious.
It's hard work, isn't it?
Yeah, people overlook it. I think it's a lot more than people think.
So if you're going to be you have to know everything then to be a grade school teacher, don't you? You have to know it all. You can't specialize. Did you always want to be a teacher?
For a while, I wanted to be an accounting major, but then I teacher aided at Logan my senior year, and then decided I wanted to be a teacher.
Okay, well, and what do you want for Christmas?
Money.
Well, okay, well, see, rent.
I was
paid, and
wondering when that was
rent
going to
paid
come
and
up.
Money, you know.
Do you want to coach?
Yeah, I've thought about coaching at a smaller school, just kind of like a 1A or 2A.
Sure. Okay. Well, volleyball. You like basketball too?
Yep.
Okay. All right. Very good. So, who do you want to say Merry Christmas to? Just look right in the camera.
To my family and all my friends.
Okay. And thank you, brother, for getting you here. Cause
I'll tell him.
I don't think I would have had you if he hadn't been there at the time, and he got me 2 or 3 of the girls. I appreciate it.
Yeah.
You have a Merry Christmas.
too, Tad.
Okay, fine. Thank you. Okay. That's a Michaela.
Speaking of rehab.
Yeah. Yeah. You're right. Yeah. We have.
She's got an interesting story.
Okay. We'll talk with Caitlin Swanson. Okay. Well, how are you getting along?
Getting along.
Okay.
Long
Caitlin,
recovery.
okay, where'd you graduate? Where are you going to school? And what happened?
I graduated in 16. I'm now attending Allen Community College.
Mm-hmm.
I'm a sophomore year. So it's a 2-year. So I'll graduate in May.
May, okay.
Yep.
And what was your sport?
Basketball.
Basketball. And where did you go?
Allen Community College.
Okay.
Yep.
Now then you're going to go somewhere next.
I'm still waiting to see what my results are right now.
All right, let's talk about the crutches. What happened on that?
It was during my 3rd game.
Mm-hmm.
And
This year?
Yep, this year.
Okay,
Yep.
all right.
And a girl ran into my knee and hyperextended it, and I fractured my tibia.
Ooh, okay.
So it's just a wait to see if it's going to heal on its own.
How's the rehab going?
Well, I haven't even started rehab. I've been on crutches
Really?
for over a month.
Oh, wow.
I just have to stay off of it and let it heal on its own. So I go see my doctor when I go back at the end of this month.
Did you still stay involved?
Yep,
with the
yep,
team?
I'm there. Yep. That much I can do.
That I don't know whether this is the right comment to make or not, but sometimes a break is better than like an ACL.
Yeah. Yes.
Will heal quicker.
Yeah. I haven't seen my doctor since it happened because at first we thought it was my meniscus. So the process just to figure out what happened, it took forever. So I haven't even seen my doctor since he told me I fractured my tibia. So I'll go up and see him when I go back at the end of this month. And I don't know what he's gonna say or anything.
So the tibia, which one is that?
It's
Is
your
that the
shin
big one or
bone,
the small one?
The front shin bone.
Okay, front
Yeah.
shin bone.
Yep.
Okay, front. Now what happened? That fell against you? Is that?
I was going for a steal, and the opponent, she ran straight into my knee and hyperextended it.
Wow.
Yeah.
And then the tibia got.
Yep.
Wow. How do you know about you're staying out there to see what's still going on? You haven't even started rehab yet? you
No,
said?
I haven't started anything.
So
So I haven't played enough games, so I could redshirt as a sophomore.
Okay.
So
Good.
because I didn't play any conference games, and we have 34 conference games.
Wow.
So I haven't
34?
played. Yeah.
That's a lot of basketball.
Oh yeah, because they're used at the JUCOs. There used to be a East and a West division,
Mhm.
but they combined it all. So we play one away game and one at home.
Okay. Who you like to play? Now this is your second year then,
Yep.
right? Okay.
Yep.
So you played last year
Yep.
and so would you like to redshirt again, or would you like to go back again another year? Or would you
Well,
like to go on?
the only problem right now is if I do redshirt, I can't go back there academically.
Oh, okay.
'Cause-
Oh,
yeah,
that
so-
would be, yeah.
yeah.
Because that's a 2-year school.
Well, I could, but I'm too far advanced with my academics that
So what do you want to be when you graduate?
elementary education.
Okay. All right.
So a teacher and farther down the road a coach.
Like to coach too,
Mhm.
maybe some.
Yep.
In any particular sport?
Basketball.
Basketball. yeah,
Yep.
but did you play volleyball too?
Nope, I played tennis.
Okay.
Yep.
You may get a chance. There's always a need for coaches.
Yeah.
And there's and when they have teachers that are willing to coach, they really like that.
Okay, someone said hi to you there. Okay. See, the thing about this is there's about 6 billion people that can see this. So don't let that bother you. Don't let that bother you. 6 billion people out there could watch. Well, maybe not in some of the jungle, but there's a lot of people could tune in and watch this thing, and they are doing it. So anyway, who has said hello to you?
My aunt from Kearney.
Okay, that's good. She's
Yeah.
watching. That's
Yeah.
great. All right. What do you want for Christmas?
Some more money.
More money, all right.
There you go.
Okay, we're getting college students always.
More money.
Yeah, more money. Was there any particular school you like to play against?
A fun game is always Neosho. That's our rival, and usually we don't have a very big crowd. But when we play Neosho, it's a
Sure. Okay.
full gym, which some fights will happen.
How long have you been playing? Do you play basketball when you were young?
Oh yeah, I've been playing my whole life.
Okay.
Yeah, it's something
Still enjoy it.
Yep, I am.
Okay. Well,
Would you like to continue playing next year?
I would, but it's just going to be harder for me to find a scholarship being out my sophomore year now.
It would be because. But could you go to another school and still? But you would have to This would be a redshirt year then, right? And then
Yeah,
you could
and
play
then I
somewhere.
could transfer to a 4-year, and I would be a sophomore. Since,
Okay.
Yep, I'm still eligible.
So you got 3 years of eligibility then. Okay,
Yep.
but you like it. All right, very good.
There might be some schools
Yep.
out
We'll
there.
see what my
They
doctor
may
says.
They might ask you to walk on.
Yeah.
But if you're interested,
Yeah.
Those are good opportunities. So
Mhm.
You're gonna be elementary teacher. Huh?
Yep.
What have you always wanted to be a teacher?
I have. Yeah.
Okay, well
Yep.
that's good. All right, and a coach maybe.
Yep.
So, okay.
I think that's most of that helps me a lot. Is I want to be a coach. So.
All right. Well, you look right in there and say hello to your aunt.
Hi,
See the
Kathy.
and who else you want to say hello to?
Merry Christmas to my friends and family.
Okay. Well, have a good. When do you have to go back?
I actually have to go back the 27th.
Wow.
Yep.
Wow.
Got out the 15th and go back the 27th.
You like crutches?
No, they're not fun.
I could not. I broke my tibia.
Yeah.
Coming out of a ball game, and it fell after doing a ball game, and the equipment fell on, and I broke it. And I did not.
No.
I did not like crutches.
They're not fun at all.
No, they sure aren't. Thank you.
Thank you.
Yeah, Merry Christmas. Okay. All righty. We're talking to someone next here who knows a little bit about injuries also. Yeah, she's going to be coming on here. All right, Tatum. Hi, Tatum. Okay, you graduated last year.
Yes.
Phillipsburg and Fort Hays.
Mhm.
And you might tell us about your ordeal last year.
Last year, during volleyball season, I had like a knee injury, and then I ended up getting surgery between. Well, I was hoping to get my surgery between basketball and volleyball, but I couldn't get in until the start of basketball season. So I was out until after Christmas break, and I came back and ended up breaking my foot. So
Yeah.
that put me out for the rest of
You know, you didn't get a
basketball.
chance to play any basketball at all?
I got 2 games under
2
my
games.
belt. Yeah.
Okay, so now you're going to Fort Hays.
Yes.
And volleyball or?
Volleyball.
Okay.
Yeah.
How'd things go this year?
This year wasn't the best. We're kind of in a transition phase.
Didn't they change coaches or something?
Yeah, our head
Okay.
coach left us after
Yeah, right.
a couple preseason tournaments,
Sure.
and so then we had an assistant coach who this was her first year coaching, and she was right out of college. She had played at Dodge and Sterling, so I think she was just a little inexperienced.
Sure. So, how are things going? Are you planning on playing 3 more years?
Yes, I am planning on playing. Right now, they hired a new head coach. She's from Idaho.
Okay.
That was just announced yesterday, I think.
Oh, okay.
So, our head coach last year will be assistant, and we'll have a new head coach coming in January.
So you're basically going to have to start over again.
Yeah, we have pretty much tryouts right after Christmas break is over.
Okay.
So,
Well, if they've got you, did you want a scholarship?
yeah.
Okay, you're on a scholarship, but they almost have to play you, though. I mean, can they take a scholarship away from you? Can another coach take it away from you?
Yeah,
What do you-
I think it's pretty much everyone that has a scholarship, it's up for grabs. So
Really?
I feel like this year she might keep everyone, and after this year, it might make some cuts. I don't know, depending on how things go after Christmas break.
The coaches coach different? I mean, did you find out this year that they have different philosophies on what they do?
Yeah, and I think coaches demand different things too. Like, for example, just the work ethic kind of.
Sure.
But they definitely coach different. Some of the techniques are different, like blocking. In Phillipsburg, we do a thing called swing blocking, but when we go there, we don't swing block because it's quicker, they say. But so it's just different things like that. You have to transition and learn new things like that.
You know, and I always thought you're a great basketball player. I've been surprised. Did anyone ever talk to you about coming to the college and playing basketball instead of volleyball?
Yeah, that was a really hard decision I had to
I
make.
would
yeah.
imagine that would be a very hard decision.
Yeah, but so I ended up choosing volleyball instead of basketball. But
So when this new coach comes in and you're basically going to have tryouts,
yeah, she didn't really technically call it tryouts. I don't know, but it's like she said we're doing testing. So pretty much just have to work out all Christmas break, stay in it, and then when we go back, we have pretty much maxing on lifting, and then we'll just have open gyms and stuff that she can see us play. And then probably after the first of the year, towards February, we'll have individual meetings, and then she'll kind of talk to us how things went.
so how many girls do you have coming back?
Coming back, we probably have about 20 or 22. Maybe we had started off with about 30 girls, and we had a few quit towards the beginning, and then we lost 3 seniors, so probably about 20 or a few more.
Do you watch a lot of volleyball on TV? Did you watch the Nationals here?
Yeah,
the
I
Nebraska
did.
one? Did you
Mhm.
watch that?
Yeah.
Now they play pretty well.
Yeah,
you know.
it's crazy how even faster paced the game can get.
yeah,
The higher division you move up.
It is really. You see the difference between
Yeah.
Division II and Division I, right?
Yeah, there is definitely a difference watching it.
Okay. Did you any big trips this year? Did you take any big trips on the ball?
Our biggest trip, we went to Ohio for a preseason. We got to fly out there, and that
Wow.
was, we left on I'm trying to think, Sunday maybe, Saturday. We didn't get back till like Wednesday. We were gone for like 4 or 5 days, and it was a lot of fun. And when we went up there, I got to see my sister, so that
Okay.
was nice because
Sure.
she's living in Indiana. So
You know, it's funny, and I should have. It'd be interesting to ask all these students. The athletics, did they make it hard to study and everything? I mean, you have to have tutors and all that. How do you keep up with your studies if you're playing volleyball or football or whatever? You know, is that tough?
yeah, it's just a lot of time management, learning how to, pretty much any free time you have, you just have to do it do your studies during that time. It's not awful, but I mean, this first semester I was didn't have too hard of classes, so I think it might increase as I get older in my schooling, but it wasn't awful this year.
I'd probably have to take all physical education classes all 4 years if I was doing that. So how to keep track of what's going on there, really. And of course, school years are a little shorter now. And how the instructors, do they know you're out for a particular sport? Do they know that hey, you better get your grade up here or something? Do you see that much? Or
Yeah, we have like a compliance officer, and so she's good about keeping up with that, which I at the beginning of each of the year I went up to each of my professors and introduced myself so that they would know that I was going to be gone, especially during the first 3 or 4 weeks with all the preseason tournaments.
Okay, did they understand? Or
Most of them
some of them probably don't like the idea, I'm sure.
We have to get like a sheet signed each time we were going to miss class, and so even though that sheet was signed, some would still count me off for attendance points, which is kind of annoying because it's
What's your major?
I'm majoring in sports and exercise therapy.
Wow, what's that? Trainer?
I want to go on to PT school, so yeah.
Where, would that be at Fort Hays, or would that be somewhere else?
I'd have to go somewhere else. There's a couple schools in Kansas that offer PT program.
There's pretty tough getting into some physical therapy.
Really?
Some physical therapy schools. Yeah, it's if you go to a school that has physical therapy, I think they kind of take care of their people first. Like Kellen Jacobs, he ended up down at Southwest Baptist in Missouri to take his. So it's kind of like getting into medical school or anything else. That's basically what it is.
Yeah.
Okay, so what does that mean? What would you do then if you got that degree? What would you do out? People see you, or you go to work for school, or what happened? How would you put your ability to work, I guess the question.
Yeah, I would hope to kind of stay in like the athletic field, work with athletes, but I mean, they say once you get to PT school and you experience all the different job opportunities, then that's kind of how you determine what you want.
Like.
Yeah.
Okay, all right, very good. Okay, so you want to say Merry Christmas, anyone? What do you want for Christmas? Money?
Yeah, some cash is always good.
And who do you want to say Merry Christmas to?
Merry Christmas to my parents.
Okay, is your sister watching, you think, in Indiana?
Yeah, she might be watching.
Okay,
so.
well, very good. All right. Very good. Thank you.
Yeah, thank you.
Enjoyed your high school career here.
Thank you.
And we'll hope things go well down at Fort Hays.
Thank you.
Okay, thank you. All right. I think we're down to a final couple here. I think we're going to talk about golf next. Is that right? Okay. And also, just been hired as an assistant coach at Phillipsburg High School. Wow, so we know what he's going to do. Darren, okay. All right, when did you graduate, Darren? Thanks for coming on.
Yeah, graduated in 2015.
Okay, and you went to Barton?
Went to Barton.
And what did you went as a golfer, okay?
Yes.
Okay, how, we've had volleyball and other things. Did very many schools talk to you about coming and playing golf?
Mm-mm.
They're the ones that.
Yeah.
Did you get a scholarship there? Or did they walk on? Okay.
I did.
Okay. Have you always played golf?
Yeah, I've played golf since I was like 6.
Well, you played, of course, all the sports in high school.
Yes.
Okay, so, but it's amazing. What was your best score?
73.
Wow. What did you shoot? What was your best out here? You remember?
Should have been a lot better.
Okay.
I don't know, it was like a 74 or
74.
something.
Okay.
So you were at Barton? Where was your home course? Did you play in Great Bend or?
Yeah, at Stone Ridge.
Stone Ridge. Okay. Did you get the chance to go around a lot of different places and play golf?
Yeah, we went to Oklahoma, and then there was usually just Oklahoma was the farthest we traveled.
Really? Okay.
But other than that, it was like Junction City and Hayes and other places.
You're playing
like that,
colleges, other colleges to come in and play obviously on that.
What was the nicest course that you ever got to play on?
down in Wichita. Can't think of the name.
Well,
It was in Wichita.
okay, was it? Would you play on a course that has a lot of sand and a lot of water?
I like straight and flat.
That's it. At Hayes, the Smoky Hills, I don't know what it used to be. Is it 3 or 4 you would tee and you have to go over water? And if you didn't, then they had a little road up here. You know what hole I'm talking about? Did you play Smoky Hill very much?
Yeah,
Probably did.
We played it quite
But
a bit in high
they had
school.
kind of to get on the other side. I never did get over the. I would always have to hit it up and dribble along because I never made it over the water. I don't know how many balls I left in that pond. I left a lot of golf balls there, but I never did make it to the. I wasn't very good, obviously.
They were probably all club specials too. That's dating the game a little bit, isn't it?
I had a guy asked one time. I said when I played, he said, "Do you use a new ball?" I said, "Yeah, I've never had to use one here because I always have a new one every time I come here." So, anyway, what was your drive, your approach, or your putting? What was your strong game? What was your
Probably
strong
my approach.
Approach, yeah. 7 and 9 irons, that kind of stuff. Yeah. How were you on the greens?
Decent.
See, when I started playing, it was all sand and it was everything level, and all of a sudden they have these greens that aren't level.
No.
That wasn't fair.
They're fast.
Yeah.
A lot of the courses we play, you putt it, and if
Course.
you hit the hill, it just roll right off.
Did you ever play out here on 9 when the green was about like that, elevated?
Yeah.
Do you remember that?
Oh yeah.
How elevated?
Yeah, oh yeah.
I mean, it was an elevated green. It was tough to get to there. And everything. Well, what do you plan on doing? Are you going to school?
I'm graduated. And
Okay.
I'm just working now, but hopefully in July I'll get to go to the Highway Patrol Academy.
That's right. That's great. So you're an assistant basketball coach now,
Yes.
huh? How did that all come about?
There's 30 kids out, and
He needed help.
he just needed some help with the younger guys.
School board voted in there.
Yeah.
So that's also. But have you already been accepted?
Yeah.
Yeah. What made you want to be a highway patrolman?
It just kind
How long
of.
does that take? How long does that?
The academy's 6 months.
6 months, all
So
right.
July to December.
Okay, and then do you want to go back to any part of the state?
I like to come back around here.
Okay, if you see a white van, just
Oh yeah, that's what everybody says.
white. Don't look and see if the seatbelt's on. Please don't. I admit I don't always. Sometimes the sheriffs look at me when they go by, but then I try on the highway. Anyway, this is confession time here. It's Christmas, right? All right. So, what made you decide, though, that you wanted to do that? Is this, do you have any friends or anyone, relatives who have been on a highway patrol? Tom?
There's Josh Kellerman. That's a
Okay.
highway patrol, but he's more down the line of
Okay,
relation.
sure.
But I went to Barton and didn't really know what I was going to do,
Sure.
and I've watched a lot of cops on TV.
Sure, right, yeah.
So I just kind of one thing after another and
That's
took
great.
their
That's
classes.
Great. That's good. Well, good luck on that. I hope that.
Thanks.
And what do you want for Christmas?
I don't know. Whatever Santa brings.
Okay. Well, I'm going to talk to Santa, hopefully,
Okay.
while you're on there and see what he says. So, who do you want to say Merry Christmas to?
The family.
Okay. Anything, final question of Jaron?
No, I was just going to ask him if he's enjoying coaching basketball.
Oh yeah, it's a blast.
Okay.
Brings me back to the high school days.
So, do you have what, the C team, B team, A team, or how's it? Or
C
do you,
team.
Okay, do you just take them off on their own there?
And not sometimes we do, but most of the time we're all practicing together.
Yeah. Okay.
Build team bonding.
Okay, that's very good. Okay, well, have a Merry Christmas. Thank you. Good
I'll
luck.
try.
Good luck being patrolman.
All right, thanks.
And you'll have a number, and I'll watch for the number.
All right.
Okay, fine, thanks. So, okay, I think this is our last guest. Very patiently, Very patient. Justin Juderman.
He does ABC, NBC, and now he's stepping down.
Yeah, I know. No, he's up. No, on ABC and NBC. Well, a lot more people are going to see you on here. They aren't on ABC.
Absolutely.
Okay, well, Justin, thanks for coming on.
Great to
We've
see
had
you guys.
Justin on several
We
times.
we don't have a T-shirt gun here to.
Yeah.
Right, okay. Well, I don't know where to start with Justin here. We've had you and we've talked about things you've done, and I've talked to Pat Poore the other day.
Yeah.
And I wanted him, if he was going to be back in, come on, and he's not. He didn't make it back. He said he would be back sometime. Maybe he could come over on a Saturday morning. And he left Minnesota. Is he back at Southern Illinois again? Or?
Yep, he's at Southern Illinois right now.
He told me all about the signings they had. He figured pretty good about the signings.
That's good.
Okay, let's go talk about you though a little bit. Are you through at Minnesota now?
So currently I'm in grad school right now.
Okay.
So I basically just started grad school last semester, and it's a 2-year program. So I'll still be up at Minnesota taking classes, but obviously my football career is now done with.
Football, there'll be a lot of weekends where parents won't have to come up there now and drive all night, right?
Yeah, no more of those drives for them.
How many of those trips did they make up there?
Quite a bit. They came almost to every home game that they could. There's a few situations where if Braden and Riley were playing further away, where it'd make their drive a couple more hours, then it'd be tougher for them to come. But yeah, their support throughout high school, throughout my whole life has just been awesome.
It's
and
amazing.
Yeah, it is.
And to have done that. You went. Let's talk about all this publicity you had all of a sudden. How did that all come about? And your friend in the hospital and everything. And go explain a little bit. People might not be aware of
Yeah.
that.
So, in January, Coach Fleck was hired, and he brought in a new staff. And one emphasis that he has on our program is serving and giving to the community, because our worst days, maybe their best days that they have. And so being able to just to be there for them and to go and talk to them and to develop a relationship with them is super important. And one opportunity that presented itself was going to the University of Minnesota Masonic Children's Hospital, which is right across the river from our campus. And so once a month, our team, Coach Fleck and his wife and members of the team would go and visit the children at the hospital. And so I was fortunate enough where it just worked in my schedule and I love going to the children's hospital to be able to gain relationships with them and going to see them. And I went every time that I could throughout from January on to now in December. And there was one kid in particular that his name was Kyle, and I developed a relationship with him, and he actually, in August, when I was awarded with a scholarship, he came into our team meeting room unexpectedly, and he talked about everything that he had gone through. I won't get into specifics with that, but everything that he had gone through at the Children's Hospital, and just talking about how he's been able to, fight and press forward and push through all the changes that he's had through his life. I mean, because all of us will go through changes, whether it's, becoming a husband, becoming a father, when you're younger, when you're older, you're going to go through these changes. And so, and he's been through a lot of them. And so to be able to see him come up and talk to the team like he did was just really inspiring. It was really awesome to see that. And then everything on top of that, when he shot the T-shirt handed at me, he said that I was his a player that stood out and who was his favorite player. That was just really awesome, an awesome feeling to have. And obviously, everything from there kind of exploded when I caught the T-shirt and saw what was said on that. And I've been able to continue to develop a relationship with him and other families that have been at the Children's Hospital. And so I'm just thankful for Coach Fleck, everybody that behind the scenes that developed that scholarship opportunity, for Kyle, for all the support that I've been given throughout the years of high school, college. It just really makes you think back to everything everybody's done for you and the relationships that you've gained throughout being here at Phillipsburg, through being at Minneapolis. There's some guys at Minneapolis that they're the best friends that I've had, and they're going to be at my weddings, and they're just amazing relationships that.
Is the wedding coming up?
Well, no, no, my future wedding.
Okay.
Maybe Mom and Dad were going to find out something this morning.
I thought this was an announcement here you're going to make here on the program.
But those are just relationships that I'm just so grateful to have.
Okay.
And so
I
so it's just been an amazing
I thought we had a
experience.
scoop. Yeah, cry your hearts out, ABC and NBC. All we had is okay. Go ahead. So it has really been great. The fact that your experience has been.
It's been unbelievable.
Outstanding.
Yeah, it's been unbelievable. I mean, I've learned so much through being at the University of Minnesota, and one thing that I learned a lot was being able to handle change, being able to be flexible. Because one thing that I didn't see coming was we had 3 different head coaches in my 5 years that I was there, which is something that any player going into a team doesn't really expect. But sometimes it happens, and those are factors that you can't really control. And so, being able to respond to that change and be able to make the best of it, and just to do your part and do what the best that you can, because like I said, you're going to experience change throughout every part of your life going forward and through the past. I mean, you know, I've been going through a lot of different changes throughout my life, and so to be able to experience that, I look at it now as a blessing, because going forward I'm going to be able to know how to respond to that change, and you know, going forward from there, I'm just excited for the future.
Okay, I expect a wedding announcement when you get around to it. All right, okay.
So Justin, what's your major?
My major right now is in human resources, so it deals with all the hiring, the firing, the training, developing, so anything that would be in those areas that I would be involved in with the company. So a couple months ago, I accepted an internship with General Mills. I'll be doing that in the summer, and I don't know where I'll be at yet, location-wise, but I won't find out until about March, April. Yep, in the summer. So that'll be a good opportunity for me to get some real good work experience within HR and within human resources to get that experience, and then just kind of go from there.
They make puff tweed or something like that.
Yeah.
That's great that you have. And then after the internship, you have another year. Then you'll go back.
Yep, I'll have one more year of school, and then whether it's with General Mills or another company, I'll plan on having a job opportunity ready after school. Yep.
And I've got to ask this question: did you ever get a chance to kick?
I did not. No, not in the game.
How do you? I'm gonna.
Yeah.
It has to be difficult, but you were there. Was that? Did you just wish maybe one time that I'm?
Well, well, yeah. I mean, when you come into a program, everybody looks to your goal is to be able to play and to be able to contribute. And while I didn't contribute on the field, there was ways I I contributed off the field in ways that I might not have expected. But at the same time, I'm very thankful for Coach Fleck, for Coach Kill, Coach Clays, all my teammates I've been able to gain relationships with. Like I said earlier, some of my best friends. And those friendships I'll have for life. You know, it's not just going to stop once football's over. Now I'm going to be able to. I'm going to keep in contact with them, and just to have those relationships going forward throughout all, you know, through work, through a family, all those different futures that I will have. I'm going to need those relationships, and I'm just excited that I was able to gain those relationships being at Minnesota.
How'd the networks learn all this? How'd that get on the networks?
Well, it was all through social media. So once, so Coach Fleck and the University of Minnesota, they posted the video of the scholarship through Twitter and Facebook, and everything just took off from there. I got a call later from our PR guy at Minnesota and he told me, hey, SportsCenter called and they want to have you on live in the morning. And I was just kind of starstruck at first. I didn't know what to expect. I'm like, of course I'll do it. You know?
Sure.
Yeah, and so it went from there, from SportsCenter, the Today Show, you know, kind of a lot of the big news stations. So it was just a cool experience to be able to affect a lot of people in a positive way when I didn't really think it would. And so it's just to be able to have that positive effect on people is just a really cool experience.
So that's outside the team, but you're doing what he wants Fleck wanting you to do is by getting involved with what's going on. And it can't hurt little publicity for Minnesota either.
Oh, absolutely. Well, yeah, and that's the thing. That's part of our culture, like I said, is being able to reach out to the community and give and serve. And that's what I did was basically the standard. You know, it wasn't like I did, and in our culture, it wasn't like I did anything above and beyond. But that's our standard to be able to, you know, focus on all aspects of your life, academically, athletically, socially, and spiritually. Be able to enhance all those 4 areas of your life, and you know, reaching out to the community was one of them. And so I'm just thankful for Coach Fleck to be presenting those opportunities for myself and my teammates. And like I said, it's just a crazy experience that happened.
Yeah, that's amazing. After the ball game the other night, your parents there, and also your grandparents from Overland there.
Yeah.
And I told them I was going to have you on, and so I hope they're watching today. Figured, you know, I couldn't figure out how to get it on if Rachel hadn't fixed it. So all I do is push an app and I'm on. But anyway, it's amazing. So do you want to do what's your internship this summer?
Yeah,
Something like
yeah,
that,
which
like
yep.
General Mills, a big company. you know?
Yeah, so I think future plans, I mean, looking long term, I think I would enjoy working for a professional sports team of some kind or professional organization,
sure.
but working within human resources. So I got my bachelor's was in sports management, and now, like I said, my master's is working towards this human resources. So being able to mix the two in some way and to find a good, healthy mix that I could use for in the future, I think that'd be most enjoyable for me. But at the same time, you never know what could happen down the road. So
Sure.
that's the goal right now. Yeah.
Where will you be located for your internship this summer?
They have about 20 or 30 plants across the country, and I don't know where it will be at until about March or April in the spring semester. So I'll fill in recommendations for a few places. I know there's one in Kansas City. There's some in Minnesota. There's some, I believe, in Missouri. They're just all over the country. And so wherever they feel like the best fit is for me, they'll put me
That's
there
a
at
big
the
company.
plant. Yeah, it is. I'm excited for it.
That is a big company. They do Wheaties. I think they do Wheaties. You know,
A lot
put
of
you
the
on the box
cereals,
off of Wheaties,
yep.
and a chance to put you on the box on the Wheaties.
I'll talk to him
boxes.
about that. We'll see if we can get that worked
out. All right. All right. It's I've always enjoyed both you and both your brothers.
Yeah.
It's great in the family too. It's amazing, and like I said, your grandparents are your biggest supporters, and some of the biggest supporters. I think it's really great. So, what do you want for Christmas?
Well, what do I want for Christmas? I'm getting kind of old, so I'm just kind of at the point where I'm asking for clothes now.
Okay,
Maybe some
all right.
new pairs of socks, something like that. So
Yeah,
I'm kind of boring in that sense.
Did you hate it when you were 6 or 7 to get a shirt or something? when your grandma would send you a shirt?
Well, I mean,
Sure.
yeah, at the same time, but it was
Yeah.
You appreciate all the things everybody's done for you in your life.
Oh yeah, I tell you what. It's amazing. Who do you want to say Merry Christmas?
Merry
to?
Christmas.
Look right in the camera.
Okay, I'll look
there.
in the camera.
Okay.
So to all my supporters and family and friends throughout high school, being here in Phillipsburg to being at Minnesota, I just can't thank you guys enough for all of your support throughout my time at Minnesota and here. So I just want to say thank you again and Merry Christmas.
Well, thank you, and
thank you, Tad.
You have a good Merry Christmas. When do you have to go back out?
I'll head back up once the semester starts in the middle of January.
Middle of January.
Yep. So I will start the next semester for grad school.
All right. Very good. Well, thanks again for coming
Yeah,
on.
thanks,
We'll
guys.
kind of keep you and did you ever think you might want to go on professionally on the news or anything like that? Since you've got the little bit of, were you nervous when the only time
For those interviews?
ESPN called me one time about something, and I gave them a thing, and I was, what do I say? So that was
Yeah.
my 30 seconds of fame there. I think
Yeah, you're nervous in a sense, but once everything once
Sure.
once the interview starts, you just be yourself, and that's all you can really do, and be the best you can be. And that's
well.
I'm glad everything. I'm just thankful everything happened the way it did.
Okay.
She did.
What
Yep.
was that?
My mom got some publicity too. She said,
right. That
in the
too,
video.
yeah. Okay, Charlene. Anyway, have a Merry Christmas.
Thank
to your
you.
family. Okay,
You
we'll
too,
see.
guys. Thanks.
All right. Wow. All these guys and gals this morning have been great. It's just amazing. With the younger generation, and particularly, and there's a lot of people say, why do you have sports? And it's all part of growing up. You learn to lose, you learn to win, and you learn to get along with people and everything.
Well, that's why coaching's means so much to me.
Yeah.
These kind of kids that you get an opportunity to work with. And, that's and like Bruce said, he gets to work with a little higher level athlete, but when you're working with athletes, they're special.
And that's all part of it. The extracurricular is very important on this. A reminder coming up on Monday, the community Christmas dinner from 11 to 1. It'll be at the Center Forum at the Golden Ear Center. I want to mention this. Missouri Alliance has a great meal. Donations accepted, but it's not necessary. They just want everyone to come for the fellowship and the food. I know some of the Felts clan will be there Monday, and they're coming. Some of them are coming tonight, so we'll be there. Want to see you out there this Monday from 11 until 1 at the Community Christmas Dinner, Missouri Alliance. Great food. I think they're probably already started getting the potatoes peeled and everything. So, all right, now we tried this last Thursday. It wasn't our fault. Verizon dropped the ball. And so we're going to try to talk to Santa. I have the special number. the the area code is 000. I'll tell you that. But the other stuff, this is all private. I had to call in special favors to get this number. So let's see if we could happen to get Santa. He is waiting, patiently waiting. I told him we'd call him probably around 10:30. So hopefully we can get on the phone here. Anything? What do you want me to ask? What do you want for Christmas? And I get the word into Santa, Dave.
Well, I'm not sure he can afford.
Okay. All right. Let's see. Get the secret number in here. Now, we used to do this for years, and he's always been very, very helpful with us. All right. I think we may.
He's probably getting his sleigh packed.
Yeah. Let's
getting
see.
ready to go.
Okay, here. And is it ringing, I hope? No, I don't. Now it's on speaker. Okay, are you there, Santa? Well, hey, you're really jolly today.
Who's this?
Do what?
Is this Todd?
This is Tad.
Oh, Tad. You're Michael Phelps' brother, right?
Yeah.
Merry Christmas, Tad. How are you?
I'm doing fine, Santa. How are you? Did you get very many people?
I'm over here in Greenland right now, but at the Reykjavik Regional Airport, getting ready for the big
You're in Greenland?
dance, Tad.
Yeah. I wish I could hear you a little better. We tried to get a hold of you Thursday. We thought that you'd probably overslept, but it wasn't that problem. The problem we had was that Verizon had a problem.
I think we're fixed now, Tad.
Well, have you always been that happy?
You know, Tad, I'm in Greenland right now at an airport eating a Cinnabon, and it is lots of sugar, feeling good.
Okay. Are you about ready to head out on your Christmas Eve trip around the world?
We are, me and Dancer and Prancer and Vixen and Comet and Comet and all of those other guys, they're eating up, and we're trying to flex fuel this year on the sleigh, so I don't know how it's going to go, Tad.
Okay. Do you still have Rudolph?
Oh, yeah. Well, Rudolph and Prancer got into a big fight because Prancer was offered show over in Vegas.
Okay.
So, yeah, they're going okay, though.
Okay. What are all the young boys and girls, the children asking for? What's the favorite Christmas present they're asking for this year, Santa?
Well, Tad, I'm getting a lot of these Amazon e-shows. I got a bunch of these e-shows in the back of the sleigh, and kids really want them.
Okay. How are the elves? I heard that there were some problems up there, that the elves union was going to maybe have a walkout for something earlier because of something. Is that all taken care of now? Are the elves all back in line?
Well, Tad, you know, the elves can't eat regular hot dogs, and they wanted more Vienna sausages because it fits, you know, their style, and so I think we worked it out, though.
Okay, all right. How many elves do you have, number-wise?
Well, you know, it kind of depends on if it's really cold, you know, but we typically are sitting, I think, at about 1,248. Not all of them are full-time. Some of them have 401ks, but other than that, we're doing pretty good this year, Dad.
Are you and Mrs. Santa on the 26th going to go down to Acapulco like you always do?
She is. She's already going to the suntan booth that I got her, I think, 300-400 years ago, and she's got it down in the basement of the North Pole. She always gets all zapped up, you know, getting ready for the 26th. Absolutely.
Santa, what did you get my list?
Ted, I did, and I couldn't read it because your writing is really bad. But I know that waffle iron. Let's just say it's on its way. Hey, have you run into Dave Kelch at all?
Dave Kelch, yeah, he's sitting next to me.
Oh, you're kidding me.
No.
Well, tell him that I've got his hair grower that I'm going to be sending. I got a gallon of it this year.
Okay. Oh, did you hear that, Dave?
No, I didn't.
He missed that. We on the speakerphone. Talk a little louder, Santa.
I'm sorry. So, Dave, you're there?
Yeah.
I'm here.
Dave, I got a gallon of hair grower for you this year, just what you asked for.
Hair roller. Hair grower. Oh, hair grower. Okay. All right. He appreciates that.
I could use that, Santa.
Okay.
Join the club, Dave. Join the club.
Okay. Is this about my time? Or you have any more time left?
You know, Dad, I've always got time for you. I'm just kind of sitting here eating the Cinnabons, you know. Gotta get all ready to go.
Okay, well, I'll tell you.
All the boys and girls.
I'll tell you what, Santa, I know that a lot of boys and girls are listening. They're expecting you to come around on Christmas Eve. Be very careful. Do you still make it to all the countries? Some of the countries, might not like that unidentified flying object in their airspace.
I like to keep NORAD kind of on their feet a little bit, Dad. I stopped off on top of a Gretna elevator a few years back, and I had my left flange sprocket go out on the sleigh. But outside of that, yeah, we're all over the world.
Okay, well, Santa, you say hello to Mrs. Santa for me.
I will, Dad. Thank you. It's always good. We've been talking for probably 100 years now, haven't we?
That's been that long. It sure it seems like it. And we'll plan on this again if I get your number.
Well, it may switch, because of all the hacking and stuff, but I'll get it to you.
Okay. Yeah. Are you hacked quite a bit? Did North Korea try to hack you?
Yeah, Rocket Man, I think he got a little bit into some of the database, but we got it all blocked out.
All right.
Nothing else crawled into that portal.
That's good. I'm going to let you go. I know you have a very busy time. I appreciate you taking time and each.
Dad, it's always good to talk to you. Merry Christmas to everybody.
Okay, and everyone here is waving back at you. So you have a good trip. Good trip. We'll see you, Santa.
Thanks, Dad.
Okay. Okay. Well, it's always an experience talking to Santa.
Oh, yeah.
And I tell you, we've gone almost 2 hours this morning. I thought we had a great show. The kids, it was really amazing. I appreciate Rachel and Lance not putting a big hook crane and pulling us off the stage here, because it was fun talking to everyone this morning. And, of course, I'm glad we got Santa back on this morning to kind of let us know what's going on there. So, anyway, are you big plans? You have big plans for Christmas?
All the kids will be home.
Okay. You told me a little. Does Matt care if you talk about him? But we talked about maybe having him on this morning, but he had something, a little procedure.
Yeah, he had gallbladder removed yesterday.
Oh wow,
and
that's young.
Yeah. Well, we actually knew when he was 12 years old that it wasn't working.
Really? Okay.
And it had developed some stones and stuff. And needed to be taken out.
Okay, everything okay?
So, yeah, everything went okay.
And you're a new grandfather. I saw them at church, and I didn't have a chance to look at them.
Yeah, they've got a little girl, and then in March we're going to have our first great grandbaby.
Oh wow!
Our oldest granddaughter's going to have a girl.
Wow!
A girl in March.
Wow! Geez.
So.
Yeah, I got start.
We're looking forward to that.
My grandkids working on that. Then I've just got grandkids. I don't have any. I don't think I have a grand in the future either. So anyway, all right. Well, you have a Merry Christmas. What do you want for Christmas? You going hair grower?
I guess maybe that's what Santa's going to bring me. I don't know.
Okay.
I'm always appreciative of anything that anybody.
As you get older, you don't worry about it as much either.
No, you don't.
Don't worry about what you're getting, and you worry about what you're going to get get, and then usually the gift cards is about the only thing I can come up with,
And that,
in case
and
my
that's- and
grandkids
that's
are watching.
okay.
Yeah.
And we're at the stage of our life where health is very, very important.
Sure is. Yeah, it sure is. So, well, and I appreciate, again, Lance and Rachel coming in here on a Thursday and Saturday, making it possible for me to do this again. You don't know how great this fall has been with the possibility to talk to the athletes again and the coaches and bring people in. And I really appreciate the opportunity.
Yeah, I think the coaches appreciate it
and
too.
they do, and the kids do too. And the fact of it is, they can watch this when they get home. That's the nice thing about it. They can watch it. It's in there. I've got them all in my phone. So we will not have a tadpole or a sports talk this week between Christmas and New Year's. There's just not much going on, and so we're going to take the week off. And 3 weeks from today, I'll be in New York City, and hopefully I can call him on the phone and talk to Lance or whoever's here. He just found out about this now, but he's going to probably be co-hosting here. I'm going to be in New York and see what's going on there. So anyway, you have a Merry Christmas.
Okay, thank you, Ted.
Okay,
Merry
and
Christmas
Rachel
to you.
and Lance, Merry Christmas also.
Lance.
And we'll see you next year. It's going to be next year now. So have a Merry Christmas.